Let's use ratios in applications. Now, we use ratios in everyday life constantly, right? Ratios are comparing two units. And one that we use a lot, well, in the health world anyway, is total cholesterol to HDL cholesterol. And we're going to do an example with this. So I just want to say that when we're talking about this, if we have a ratio of 5 to 1, this is considered good. Okay, just for reference, this is just one ratio that they use in the health world, and we're going to deal with this in our first example. So I went to the doctor, and my total cholesterol was 238 milligrams per deciliter, and my HDL cholesterol is 42 milligrams per deciliter. Find the ratio of my total cholesterol to my HDL cholesterol. Now, one thing that I want to say is that when we're dealing with ratios, we need to have the same units, okay? So when we are looking at the ratio of total to HDL, whatever comes first, so total cholesterol comes first, 2 implies the fraction bar, and then HDL cholesterol. Okay, so when I'm doing this, I can say, okay, my total cholesterol was 238, and my HDL cholesterol is 42. So if I want to know, is that good? Is that bad? Is it high? Is it low? Let's divide, because we know that a ratio of 5 to 1 is good based off our last statement. So if I divide, because the fraction bar is like a division sign, so I can take 238 divided by 42, and when I do that, I get 5.67 to 1. Okay, now this is a fine ratio. It's not simplified. If I make it a unit rate, right, over 1, this is what we have. So this is total over HDL. And we can see, because it's 5.67 over 1, this is a little high based off of what we know that 5 to 1 is good. Okay, but that's how we write a ratio. Now, just again, when we simplify ratios, we must be in the same units. I say this because in our next example, Jacob threw a baseball 72 feet and Sarah threw a baseball 26 yards. Write the ratio of the distance the baseball traveled, Jacob to Sarah, as a simplified fraction. Okay, Jacob to Sarah. So Jacob's distance is on the top, Sarah's distance is on the bottom. Now, Jacob threw the ball 72 feet, and Sarah threw it 26 yards. So these are not currently in the same unit. But you may know that 3 feet is the same as 1 yard. So if I want 26 yards, I just multiply this by 3, and this will tell me how many feet I have, right? So 26 times 3 is 78. So we could say Jacob threw the ball 72 feet and Sarah threw the ball 78 feet. Now we are in the same unit, so the units cancel out, and now I can simplify my fraction. If you're not so great with knowing what numbers divide evenly into, notice that both 72 and 78 are even. So I can start by dividing both of these by 2. So 72 divided by 2 is 36. 78 divided by 2 is 39. Well, hopefully you notice that 36 and 39 are both divisible by 3. So 36 divided by 3 is 12, and 39 divided by 3 is 13. So the simplified ratio of the distance from that Jacob threw the ball to the distance that Sarah threw the ball is 12 to 13. You also, just an FYI, at the very beginning could have divided the numerator and denominator by 6, and that would have given you 12 over 13, our simplified ratio. But super important that we changed the yards to feet first. We also could have changed feet to yard by dividing by 3. That would have given us 24 over 26, which also would have reduced to 12 over 13.